Welcome back, everybody, on a Thursday morning edition of Hot Mic. Eric Henderson, South Dakota State men's basketball head coach, coming up in about 15 minutes to preview tonight's game at the Shack. Obviously, the big news yesterday that we chatted about was the announcement, broke the story on that actually, that Randy Hedberg was retiring from coaching football after 45 years, the last 11 at North Dakota State as the QB's coach and associate head coach of the Bison. The impact of players he's had is immeasurable, and you're going to hear from a couple of them over the next couple of days. Tomorrow, Cordell Volson, you'll hear from the Pride of Balfour, another Class B guy who has some great stuff to say on Randy. But you can't look at Hedberg and not look at the quarterbacks and the history that he's had with those players, whether it be Carson Wentz, whether it be Trey Lance, whether it be Cam Miller, who's playing tonight down at the Shrine Bowl in Frisco, Texas. But the one that he's linked to probably forever will be Easton Stick, because he was the quarterback for 4 years of the Bison, taking over when Wentz got hurt during the 2015 season. Stick, of course, is the all-time wins record holder in FCS history still, with Mark Gronowski at 49 wins, and won those 3 championships, including the last 2 in 2017 and 2018. Now just wrapped up. It's hard to believe this, and you say this out loud already, his 6th year in the NFL. I visited with Easton yesterday after hearing the news and what Coach Hedberg meant to him.
It means a ton. I mean, just from the standpoint of having someone believe in you, I think that's a powerful thing. And, he certainly made me feel that way, especially in 2015, even going into that year, just kind of planting the seeds, like knowing it was Carson's last year. And if I kept improving, like I had a chance to play for a long time. And then obviously not knowing when you're going to play and being thrown in there. He was kind of that rock. You knew exactly what you were getting from him every single day. And so he meant a ton to me, obviously, as a player. But I think just seeing him around his family, his wife, Sherry, like the way they treated me and my family, it was like family. And I think I found even a greater appreciation being away. He reaches out all the time. He's checking in on us. And he's done a lot for me away from football. He's done a lot helping me out with the camp we've done, in Fargo the last couple of years. So, I can't say enough good things about him.
You mentioned that 2015 getting thrown in. I mean, you and I have talked often about that crazy week of finding out you're going to be the starter and all that, but what did we not see behind the scenes? How did he help you get ready to get on the field?
Well, I think the biggest thing is he didn't change, and I've seen it now, being removed from it where, somebody gets hurt or someone else is playing and, it's a stressful thing for the player and for the coach, like, probably more so for them than the player. I'm sure him and Coach Follisette, Coach Kleiman, everybody were a lot more stressed about it than I was, but you didn't sense that from him at all. It was a constant thing of just uplifting me and helping me believe. And he did that, throughout my whole career and the ups and downs of all of it, right? I went through stretches where I didn't play very well, and there was no one that had my back more than him. And so it started when I first got there. And he was huge, man. You've seen what he's done now the last decade. It's been unbelievable.
How much did you just mention having your back? Just what did that do confidence-wise for you, especially when you were a young player?
Yeah, it's huge because there's a lot of things that go into the position, and the position gets way too much credit and at times too much criticism. It goes both ways. And so, you're not playing well, but the team is winning, making sure you're feeling good. You are playing well, and he's still challenging you. And man, he expected us to prepare a certain way, and he showed us what that looked like. He showed Carson, and I just tried to follow that, and he challenged you, and the other thing is, he listened too. If there are things you didn't like or you weren't comfortable, he wasn't going to put you in a bad position, and he listened to his guys, and that was huge. And I think the way he handled the room was really impressive. We were just talking the amount of guys from that quarterback room that are some of my closest friends, and we would all say that you go through the line from Carson to Cam, there's a connection between every single one of us. Guys that were the starters and guys that didn't get a chance to play, it didn't matter. And I think that's what maybe his superpower is just being able to glue us together. And I think that's a huge factor in the success over the last decade.
Did you know he played, like he made the NFL? What did you know about him getting here? Did you, and that he was drafted into the NFL?
Yeah, I think probably not as much when I was being recruited, right? Because he took the job,
Yeah.
later in the cycle with Coach Kleiman. And so just getting to know him a little bit, I probably learned more in that first year or two from him about the background, right? The chance that you started as a rookie from Minot State to
Yeah.
here you are, dude. Here's the Philadelphia Eagles. Good luck. And hearing some cool stories, being in camp with the Raiders and, Kenny Stabler and just some cool stories here and there. He didn't talk a ton about it.
Yeah.
But, we tried every once in a while, tried to, egg him on a little bit and hear from it, but really neat stuff.
How much did that help credibility wise? Not that he didn't have it, but the fact that he made it all the way. Did that help for you guys?
Yeah. Oh, it's huge,
Yeah.
and shoot, when you're 18, it's a little different than now, knowing now that I've played a little bit, and Carson and Trey would probably say the same thing. It's different now, but as an 18-year-old kid, it's like, man, this guy has been where I want to be. He's experienced it, and he did it a way that was a lot more difficult than we had the opportunity to do it at North Dakota State. So, yeah, his credibility was there. And shoot, man, you could go on and on about him and what he's done.
He was always, Easton, it seemed like your biggest champion, whether it was a game like a James Madison game. Hey, we have the best quarterback in the division. The best quarterback plays on our team. He would never shy away from telling the media that. What did that do for you personally?
Meant a ton because, you know how it goes. And I got to play dang near 4 seasons. There's up and down. You go through stretches where it's really good and some where you still have nightmares about a little bit. But like I said, he never wavered. And he in just personal private conversations, how he would talk to me and uplift me and tell me what was in front of me, that things were possible. And so I don't think I'm still getting the opportunity to play, if it's not for Coach Hedberg and just the confidence and the belief. He just kind of pounded it, in my head. And at some point you start believing it and you see the results. And, he put us in a good position. He showed us how to prepare and he held us to that standard. Like there was an expectation of this is what it looks like to be a Bison, to play quarterback here and how you handle yourself on and off, all that stuff. And so, like I said, I don't think I'm still playing without Coach.
Was there a time he was mad, like in the headset? Like,
oh yeah,
he always gets mad at me about different stuff. But what can you give me an example of that?
He's competitive now. Like he has this great calm demeanor, which is great for the room. It's great on game day, but he's competitive. Like don't be fooled by some of that stuff. And now he was in the box, we were on the field, right? So there was always some debriefing, and through the headset. By the time I got to it, there'd been probably some deep breaths taken, but. Oh yeah, at practice, absolutely. He was intense, and like I said, there was an expectation. And now he did it in a good way. It was never you never felt like you were getting berated or anything like that. It was just you could sense the competitive spirit, and I think the urgency of we got to get better, guys, all the time. And I know I really appreciated that.
I remember the night Trey got drafted, and the sense he had, 3 straight guys he coached all got drafted. And now Cam very well could be 4 in a row. Just there, I don't know. There's not many quarterback coaches that can brag about that. When I say that, what goes through your mind?
Yeah, I don't think there's one.
Yeah.
For over a decade to have 4 guys consecutive, get a chance to keep playing. There's no one else, and it's pretty special. And I think part of the reason is I remember he called me after Trey won Walter Payton. And just the pure joy in his voice, you could just sense it, how proud he was of Trey, how happy he was for him and his family, for the program, what that meant. And so there's been countless moments like that, just reaching out and celebrating little things. And just shoot, he called me the other day to let me know his plans and stuff like that, where it's you didn't have to do that. And just, the place means the world to him. And so, yeah, it matters. He's a true Bison. That's probably the best way to say it. Dom is he exemplifies everything that's good about that place.
He's still mad you didn't win it your senior year.
We both are. What do you mean?
He tells me about that. It reminds me all the time. When Cam didn't win it, he was still mad that you didn't win it.
Yeah, he's like I said, man. He believed in me to a level. Him and Coach Kleiman to a level that nobody else did. And so, yeah, he's had a huge impact on my life.
I don't think you could have said it any better there. Great stuff from Easton Stick, all-time wins record holder in FCS history. Just wrapping up, unbelievable to say this, 5th year in the National Football League. Great stuff there. We're overdue for a break. We'll take one now. We come back. We'll shift gears and chat some hoops. The Biggie in Fargo tonight. The Jackrabbits are here. We'll preview that with head coach Eric Henderson when Hot Mike returns after this.